Government is presently investing in power infrastructures.
Complement federal government's huge investment in power sector, Minister urges stakeholders.
Important electoral reforms enshrined in the Electoral Act 2022.
Ahead of 2023 general elections, international observers present report at media conference.
As they are going for this surgery, we pray and hope for them that we are coming back here to receive them as two separate individuals.
Plus, family of conjoined Nigerian twins benefit from strong Saudi-Nigeria diplomatic ties. This is NTA Network News and you're welcome. I am Jummai Yusuf. Adela Kami Akere joins us from Lagos. Don't forget to join this news broadcast live on our website nta.ng/live as well as all the social media platforms displayed on the screen. Now let's get the news. Policymakers and other industry players in the power sector met in Abuja and adopted far-reaching resolutions for implementation on how to improve generation, transmission and distribution of electricity. Minister of Power Abubakar Aliyu, who chaired the summit, emphasized that huge government investment in the sector should be complemented by all key players to deliver quality and affordable electricity to consumers. Let's join Joshua Ojito for details.
It's the 5th edition of National Council on Power, with delegates representing the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, as well as industry players across the value chain, putting heads together to provide solutions to challenges impeding supply of quality electricity to consumers. Of concern to the Council are issues of right of way, slowing down transmission projects across the country, sustainability of intervention projects in communities after inauguration, with state governments recommending to take ownership, investments in distribution networks, among others. More than 30 memoranda were considered.
Government is presently investing in power infrastructures, most especially in the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to strengthen the national grid.
New substations such as 2 by 60 MVA, 132 kV substation at Gagarawa, Robi, Okpila, Daura, Oka, and which mobile substations were all completed. A lot of old substations have also been reinforced with new transformers and associated switchgears. All transmission lines are also being reconducted.
The main issue is to have continuous collaboration in the sector. As it is now in the country, we need to look for other ways of generating power.
Curtain drawn on the summit, delegates dispatched with expectations that recommendations proffered will be implemented, while industry players step up their games to improve power supply. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has established 17 green aggregation centers to process agricultural produce aimed at reducing post-production loss to farmers across the country. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
Records have shown that every year, farmers in Nigeria loses about 60% of their agricultural produce due to lack of adequate storage and processing facilities. It is in their bid to tackling the challenge that key players in the agricultural sector converge on Abuja for the West Africa and Central Africa Post-Harvest Conference.
This is to allow our farmers to have access to storage. We all agree that one of the greatest problems is storage. And today, the federal government has been able to do that. And our sites all over the country, about 1,700 various capacities have been given out to the private sector.
Post-Harvest Conference organizers say will build farmers' capacity on value addition to their produce.
Able to dehydrate some other fresh vegetables and keep them to still maintain the fresh state when they want to cook, like ugu and other things. These are things that we are trying to promote so that farmers know how to do it.
Insecurity, climate change, and many other factors are contributing to the fact that we are losing food indigenously. If you know how to
to transform, food processing, know how to do it. Yeah. We have enough resources to feed ourselves.
Another area of focus of the conference is to refocus Nigeria's attention on the indigenous food for the enhancement of local production and to reduce food importation. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Now, for a smooth democratic transition, good governance and security to be achieved in Nigeria, the legacy of the nation's founding fathers must be fully entrenched and adopted at all stratas. Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, stated this at a public lecture in Ilorin, Kwara State. Olajide Bello brings us the details.
The induction of 30 nurses as certified by the Council of Nursing and Midwifery by the Nigerian Air Force College of Nursing Sciences is part of the ongoing effort to upgrade and reposition medical personnel to provide excellent services. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladoya Amao, noted with satisfaction the role of medical personnel among officers and men of the Nigerian Air Force, which he has necessitated training and retraining of medical staff to up their game.
The graduates will bring the experiences, skills, and knowledge acquired during their training at the college to bear on the Nigerian Air Force medical services in order to bolster overall Nigerian Air Force operations.
Medical evacuation is one of our key competencies. So we have an air mobile first aid unit where we are going to take these nurses to undergo training for 6 weeks to make them aeromedical emergency technicians.
All those conducted to put their very best in the discharge of their professional responsibilities. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
The saying, "There shall be light at the end of the tunnel," best describes the story of a set of conjoined twins born in Kano State 11 months ago. The twin sisters have been flown to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for a life-changing surgery sponsored by the King Salman Humanitarian and Aid Center. Aminu Umar, who witnessed their departure, reports.
Born on 12th January this year at Baroduko Teaching Hospital in Kaduna State to the family of Umar Rayanu and Ralia Nura through a cesarean section, Hassana and Husseina were joined at the abdomen. The situation presented a critical medical condition that the parents cannot afford. Speaking before their handover to the medical team from Saudi Arabia for the surgery, the parents were short of words in thanking God and King Salman of Saudi Arabia for the charitable intervention.
I'm so appreciative, definitely, but I can't show you how I appreciate it.
Handing over the conjoined twins to the team of doctors, the Chief Medical Director, Muhammad Abdullahi was a teaching hospital in Kano. Dr. Rahila Garba informed them that Hassana and Husseina are in stable condition.
And throughout the period of their stay in our facility, they have been stable. So as they are going for this surgery, we pray and hope for them that we are coming back here to receive them as two separate individuals.
The Consul General of Saudi Arabia in Nigeria, Khalil Ahmad Al-Adamawi, who led the Saudi team to Malam Amin Kano International Airport, said the surgery will be at zero cost to the parents.
As Hassana and Husseina, Nigerian conjoined twins, boarded this air ambulance, it is the prayer of everyone that they should be received in Nigeria as Hassana and Husseina separately and successfully.
In Kano, Aminu Umar, NTA News.
Meanwhile, they have been received by the government of Saudi Arabia officials and a team of doctors in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia preparatory to the surgery to separate them. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim brings us an update.
It was even a happier reception for Hassana and Husseina on arrival in Saudi Arabia, from the airport to the hospital where they are to have the surgery. The conjoined twins were treated with care and love, a gesture that both the family and the Nigerian embassy in Saudi Arabia appreciated. The surgery to separate Hassana and Husseina is expected to be done soon on the instance of King Salman Abdullah at no cost to the parent or Nigerian government. It is one of the many humanitarian gestures Nigeria and Nigerians have been enjoying from the Saudi king and government in a show of a strong diplomatic relation between the two countries. Already, Hassana and Husseina are becoming popular as both print and electronic media in Saudi are awash with their story. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
Our hearts are with them and we wish them a successful surgery. Now, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo at the second National Summit of Persons with Disabilities appeals to Nigerians to support federal government's policy on disability inclusion. Gofan Shajungwai reports.
I find it a very great honor on behalf of His Excellency the Vice President to declare this National Summit on Disability 2022 open.
Sultan of Sokoto and the President, Christian Association of Nigeria, reaffirmed their commitment to work with the Commission to actualize inclusive society for persons with disabilities.
This all-important summit on disability inclusion shines a light on the indispensable roles of religious and traditional institutions in Nigeria in advocating for a just and inclusive society devoid of all forms of barriers and discriminations against persons with disabilities.
For us, it is very important. For time immemorial, been living, working, taking care of such groups of people in our domain. Our partnership with the religious institution today is something that we feel that is expected to provide us the necessary result. Our religious institutions as well as our prayer houses.
Lalu says the Commission remains committed to taking persons with disabilities out of all challenges such as neglect and abandonment. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji, Ugwanyi, NTA News.
Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Alifantami, has urged states and local governments to implement federal government's policy and strategy aimed at developing a digital economy for Nigeria. The minister made the call at the end of the 10th regular meeting of the National Council on Communication and Digital Economy in Ibadan. Correspondent Ayomiko Ajibola reports.
Speaking on the theme, Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship as a panacea for challenge to sustainable economic development in Nigeria, Minister of Communication and Digital Economy tasked Nigerians to work towards further strengthening the capacity of governments to develop and deploy digital technologies to make government more efficient and transparent, thereby improving Nigeria's global standing in the ease of doing business index.
What we are doing is to mobilize the state to establish Ministry of Digital Economy at state level, because as it is today, the way digital economy is driving the economy, there is no way you can leave that sector under another ministry as a department to function. It is impossible.
In your state, one key thing embracing digital technology did was to revolutionize the internally generated revenue system and improvements by a great percentage.
At the end of the 4 days program, Oyo State emerged the overall best state in digital technology development in the country. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
The civil service at state level should embrace already developed strategy and implementation plans of the federal government, which are already in use by the federal civil service to ensure uniformity and quality service to the entire nation. Head of the civil service of the Federation, Falashide Yemi Esan, said this at the second ministerial session of the 44th meeting of the National Council on Establishments taking place in Iola. Hamman Jopani reports.
The ministerial session, which is made up of head of service of the 36 states of the Federation with the head of the civil service of the Federation as chairman, is the highest decision body where issues concerning the public service are tackled for the purpose of advancing the cause of the service for overall national development. Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, represented by the Deputy Governor, commended the head of Civil Service of the Federation for leading the reforms in the service, adding that Adamawa State Government will continue to improve the welfare of civil servants.
Not only we have implemented 32,000 naira as minimum wage, its consequential adjustment as promised during our electionary campaign. We have sustained regular payments of salaries as when due.
Culture change and change management are also taking root because in the civil service we are departing from the way things were being done before. And this is impacting positively on the way services are delivered to Nigerians.
The 44th meeting of the National Council on Establishments was attended by permanent secretaries in charge of establishments and related matters from the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Let's take a break. The news continues in a moment. You're welcome back. Let's start with politics. Pre-assessment of the 2023 election by body of foreign observers in Nigeria is craving for another round of peace accord to ensure a smooth transition of the electoral process. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Electoral ban.
National Democratic Institute and International Republican Institute are two strategic partners working to strengthen democratic institutions globally. In July 2022, a pre-assessment of the 2023 elections was conducted with resolutions centered on adequate funding of INEC operations, a level playing ground for political parties, and a peace accord.
Important electoral reforms enshrined in the Electoral Act 2022 have raised public confidence in INEC's commitment and ability to deliver democratic elections for over 90 million registered voters.
Candidates and political parties should adhere to the principles in the peace pledges facilitated by the National Peace Committee ahead of the elections and refrain from engaging in or encouraging violence against electoral opponents.
The group is also promoting neutrality by critical players like the security agencies, the media, and observers, as well as equal opportunities for women and youths, with an appeal for judicial transparency during tribunals. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Yes, there are internal issues within the People's Democratic Party, but that should not lead to bloodshed, says the Director Strategic Communication of the PDP Presidential Campaign Organization, Dele Mamadou. He was reacting to the recent attack on the Port Harcourt home of the Rivers State Director of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council, Senator Lee Nwaba. Timothy Yusuf reports.
With presidential campaign for the 2023 general elections ongoing, the Presidential Campaign Council of the PDP is recommitting to abide by the signed peace accord. Atiku remains a productive candidate and should be supported by Nigerians to bring his experience to bear in the governance process, as the Presidential Campaign Council appealed to its supporters in Rivers State and other parts of the country to remain law-abiding always.
Some people still attack the whole of Senator Lee Nwaba, a major supporter of our candidate Atiku Abubakar. And it's even possible it could have been an opportunistic attack from anywhere. We don't know. So, but we appeal to our party members in Rivers to cool temper.
National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Debo Ologunagba, at a similar media briefing appealed to governments at all levels to allow equal opportunities for the PDP to carry out its electioneering campaign processes against the backdrop of the party's candidates' posters purportedly not allowed in some states. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Working Committee of the Labour Party has dissolved the Ogun State Working Committee of the party over alleged anti-party activities. The NWC, after an emergency meeting, expressed determination to flush out those within the system that have compromised the party's standard. David Ire reports.
The dissolution of the Ogun chapter executive of the party is a fallout of the purported expulsion of the Director General of the Presidential Campaign Council, Doyin Okupe, by the State Working Committee. National Secretary of the party, in a news conference, said the action of the Ogun State Executive violates the party's constitution and a deliberate attempt to derail the ongoing campaigns. He also announced that the National Publicity Secretary, Abayomi Arabambi, who has been in acting capacity, has also been removed from office.
When at the national level we summon them, the entire escort to come and defend the action they have taken, so that we see what is going to be what is really happening. They refuse to come. So this shows that they have compromised entirely. The escort have compromised. And as such, we cannot think that it's not possible for us to work on with those kind of people.
A caretaker committee is to be set up to run the state's activities, while a panel will be constituted to investigate the allegations against the suspended officers. In Abuja, David Ire, NTA News.
Winners of Glow Festival of Joy promo have been presented their prizes, with the star prize winner receiving keys to a 3-bedroom house in Port Harcourt. The telecommunication giant's Glow has been commended for rewarding its loyal customers at the impressive ceremony. Jenny Bassi reports.
Mr. Chimeka Woke becomes the latest lucky winner of a 3-bedroom house in the Globacom Festival of Joy promo. A special package, the company says, is designed to put smiles on the faces of its subscribers. This is one of the 20 houses earmarked for Glow subscribers in the ongoing Festival of Joy promo. In addition, 24 exotic cars, 200 sewing machines, 100 generators, and 1,000 rechargeable fans are among the prizes up for grabs in the promo.
We congratulate today's lucky winner and enjoin everyone to spread the word that in Globacom we keep our promises to our customers. In the days ahead, Globacom will be unveiling more house winners as well as winners of other amazing prizes. Competition event will be held in different cities across the country.
From being a tenant to owning a 3-bedroom house with security posts, Mr. Chimeka Woke ran out of words to express his feelings.
When I got a text from my husband, say, "Babe, I want a house." I was like, how do they do a house?
Globacom, I must thank you because what you're doing is the performance of your corporate social responsibility.
To qualify for the promo, subscribers should dial *611# and load data worth of 20,000 naira a month to qualify for a house, 10,000 naira for a car, 5,000 naira for generator, 2,500 naira for sewing machine, and 2,000 naira for the rechargeable fan. The Christmas season is really a festival of joy for Glow subscribers in River State. In Port Harcourt, Jenny Bassi, NTA News.
The federal government policy on teaching of indigenous languages at basic education level has received an intervention from the Partnership for Learning for All Nigeria program, with provision of teaching and learning materials of about 1,500,000 pupils in Kaduna State. Haruna Mohammed reports that those who benefited from the gesture are primarily 1 and 2 pupils.
The provision of these materials in support of teaching through indigenous languages in public schools is a demonstration of commitment by the donor to make the federal government policy more functional and acceptable. 730 primary schools in Kaduna State are captured under the first scheme. Apart from these, the first phase of the intervention by the Partnership for All in Nigeria will distribute 1,500,000 Hausa literature and math textbooks to 2,453 teachers to assist in teaching.
So we're targeting children in line with the national policy on engaging with children at this age with the language of the environment. In this case, it's Hausa. So this teacher's guide and learning materials is for children in P1 and P2.
It came at the right time when the education sector is undergoing major reforms. Textbooks they are providing will, in no small measure, contribute to the successes they were expecting at the end of the project.
The program Partnership for Learning for All in Nigeria is currently taking place in 3 states of Jigawa, Kano and Kaduna states. From Kaduna, I am Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
The Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, is dotting the 6 benefiting states with life-changing projects in fulfillment of its mandate of ensuring the region is placed on the trajectory for sustainable development. The latest of such interventions is the flag-off of the construction of a 54-kilometer Ngalda-Mutai road linking Kujuba and Fika local government areas in Yobe State. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
This season, if the problem persisted, it is not easy for our populace to transport their patient to general hospital or to specialist hospital. That is the problem we have been facing with this road.
Looking at these challenges, the Northeast Development Commission, as a regional intervention agency, is on a rescue mission as it flags off the construction of a 12.2 billion naira Galdemute Road Phase 2 in a move to change the narrative.
The construction of this road is obviously opening up the rich agriculturally remote communities and facilitate easy movement of people, goods and services to stimulate more agricultural, commercial and economic activities in the benefiting communities.
For the first time in history, the Commission is simultaneously executing other multiple road projects across North region that are worthy of note, such as construction of 30-kilometer Zabarmari area network, phase 1, the construction of 53-kilometer Gombe-Abati-Kibi road in Bauchi in Gombe State, construction of 32-kilometer Tabna-Garikida road in Adamawa State.
This is coming as Yobe State government, through the multi-sectoral crisis recovery project, is also constructing the phase 2 of the road, all geared towards placing communities affected by insurgency along the corridor on the path of sustainable socio-economic development. A foundation for the construction of a mega school for Yobe South Senatorial District in Arikimi area of Portisco local government area was also laid as part of the Commission's intervention in the education sector across the 18 senatorial districts in the region. In the Machi, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari rejoices with Joseph Olubenga Oloyede Latimogo 1, the Apetu of Ipetumodu in Ife local government area of Osun State as he turns 60. The president felicitates with the Oloyede chieftains of the traditional institution and the subjects, urging them to sustain their support for the monarch whom they have shown love since he ascended the throne 3 years ago. He urges the vice chairman of Osun State Council of Obas to deploy his skills as a specialist in accounting and information systems to develop his domain and also utilize his vast international experience as a lecturer in the USA. President Buhari wishes the Apetu a long and successful reign. Time now to join Adiola in Lagos for more reports. Hello, Adiola.
Jumai. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, and the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, have inaugurated 5 combat gun boats and other projects in Lagos. The launch is in line with its target of harnessing inter-security agency collaboration in checking threats along the nation's territorial waterways. Amaka Ubo reports.
The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, and Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, at the Nigeria Police State Marine Headquarters inspecting the 5 newly acquired combat gun boats for effective policing across the country.
We are also approaching the Christmas period, which is also known to be a volatile period. We are also approaching the 2023 general election. So these assets will go a long way in ensuring the police deliver the duty of ensuring that there is law and order and there is peace and tranquility within the inland waterways.
I want to commend the efforts of the Inspector General of Police for giving commitment to have more platforms on the water to ensure the security of the inland waterways, especially now that government is making a lot of efforts to ensure that road transport is reduced and the maritime environment is also patronized.
The Inspector General of Police later proceeded to the Police College, Ikeja, where he inspected the Guard of Honor. In company of other senior police officers, the IGP also inaugurated quarters for the commandant of the college and a fully equipped tailoring section for the institution. He promised to continue to boost the welfare of officers. The Police College Ikeja is one of the foremost institutions in the country that meets the training needs of officers in Nigeria. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, says the Nigerian Navy will continue to deepen its presence along the fringes of Nigeria's borders with the intention to protect her sovereignty. He said this while performing the groundbreaking ceremony of the administrative block of Naval Outpost at Tongeji Island in Ikpokia local government area of Ogun State. Adeniyi Taiwo completes the report.
Tongeji Island is a coastal community on the fringe of Nigeria's border with Port Novo in the Republic of Benin. It is an oil-rich agrarian community that has witnessed cases of cross-border conflicts in the past. The arrival of the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, to the island to lay the foundation of the administrative block of the Naval Outpost is therefore a landmark for members of the community. Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, who was accompanied by the flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Yakubu Wambai, said the move became necessary to promote the territorial integrity of Nigeria as well as reassure the people that their country is able and willing to protect them.
The committee that is being formed between Nigeria and the people of the Republic to make sure that there is amicable settlement for whatever conflict there was before we get to where we are today. So I assure you that the state government, the federal government is aware of what is happening, and in no distant time, whatever conflict there is will be resolved.
On his part, the traditional ruler, Akoko of Tongeji Island, Oba Abiodun Nkosi Okikisule I, applauded the Nigerian Navy for establishing the outpost and for other infrastructural development support to the community. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. There will be more reports after this timeout. To stay with us.
Thanks for joining us. The Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization is promoting the use of intercultural dialogue for integration for global peace. This is part of activities to mark Festac's 77 45 years anniversary. Oyinaya Kaluoka reports.
And culture. 1977, Lagos State welcomed the world to one of the most famous and spectacular events, the Festival of Black Arts and Culture, Festac 77. 45 years later, the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization, CBAC, is resonating the rich cultural festival with performances from Nigeria and beyond and exhibitions.
Let our youth now know what actually happened in 1977, and from there we'll take it up culturally, through music, through art, through dancing. We want to lecture them.
The lecture, focusing on deepening intercultural dialogue, had presentations from experts within and outside the country.
To commend the leadership of CBAC, because there are a lot of events that have happened in this country that maybe didn't have an history background. But CBAC, as we are awakening our consciousness today, to know that this is a unique and the biggest gathering of blacks all over the world.
is to continue enriching culture together. Nigerians, Africans, Cuban, people from the Caribbean side.
Our culture that can take us to the next level we want Africa to be is our culture that can really increase our GDP.
The Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization annual lecture is a platform dedicated to the reassessment of the place of the continent. Oyina Kalu Oka, NTA News.
Time now to join Benny for business news. Hello, Benny.
Thank you, Jumai, and welcome to Business. We'll start by telling you that the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NAITI, says annual reports from the agency has led to recoveries of unpaid revenues from oil and gas, solid minerals amounting to trillions of naira from 77 oil and gas companies this year. This was at this year's commemoration of International Day Against Corruption in Abuja, where stakeholders resolved to ensure the full implementation of the Holistic National Anti-Corruption Strategy 2022 to 2026 and emphasizing on tackling corruption from the roots and closing the doors to illicit activities before they happen.
For their crime and ensure that there's restitution to the citizens.
For 30 years, we have a lot of data that the oil and gas industry and the investors, those reforming the sector, can rely on.
On International Anti-Corruption Day and every day, we can all act to stop corruption. And we must, because our communities are losing out on trillions of dollars and countless opportunities.
The United Nations and other development partners under the United Nations Convention Against Corruption says 2023 will witness increased partnership with Nigeria as the fight against corruption intensifies. And moving on, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Lee Adebayo, alongside other stakeholders in the standard sector, asking captains of industry to invest substantially in brand protection activities to safeguard their intellectual property against counterfeiters, copyright pirates, and producers of substandard products. They commit to it.
Even more important, now that the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement has opened up the domestic market to all comers in the continent of Africa. Some must therefore speak to its role in maintaining standards to support industrial development, facilitate trade, and promote investment in the Nigerian economy.
The industry expect the same. Cooperation, work with us, we protect the industry, we work hard to make sure our industries and the products are acceptable everywhere around the world.
I'm taking a look at the markets in the trade and week ended today. Nigeria's investors gained 395 billion naira amid 4 days of positives as against a day of negative close. At the end of trading today, a total of 100.8 million shares in 2,440 deals, corresponding to a market value of 1.143 billion naira were traded. The current market capitalization is 26.6 trillion naira. Sterling Bank recorded the highest volume of 34.2 million traded shares, followed by Guarantee Trust Holdings 7.27 million and Jopo and Ventures. That is business news. Network News continues with Jumai. It's nice doing business with you.
As always, Benny. And also still talking marketing, NTA Marketing Annual Conference has ended and hopes are high in terms of higher sales for the marketing staff after learning new ideas on modern marketing techniques. Charles Alpha tells us more.
They are now refreshed and ready to break new grounds in marketing and in terms of value addition to the organization, NTA.
It's been a very rewarding experience. It's been very exciting. But you know there's really nothing you do without knowledge. They say when you stop to learn, you start to die.
For 3 days, these participants went through intensive training on digital marketing, the need to be computer literate, and take advantage of the opportunities that the global market presents with the internet for high sales.
I believe that now the awareness is being created. They know that they have to be able to compete positively.
Once a marketer, always a marketer. Dressed in his business jacket, the Director General of NTA, Salil Abdulhamid Dembos, wants the organization's bloodline to take advantage of what they have learned to grow the system while aspiring for higher heights.
The authority itself is recognized by practitioners of marketing in this country as the best station in Nigeria and by extension in Africa. So for us, we lead, others follow.
Awards were presented to the best marketing staff across the states, stations with outstanding sales.
Let me thank to Almighty Allah for giving me this wonderful award, and I want to thank my ADM and my present DG.
In fact, I cannot explain how happy I am. I'm most grateful to God for our station.
Awards were also presented to supporters of the Marketing Directorate, the Executive Directors, and of course, the DG. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Television Authority and its Director General Salil Abdulhamid Dembos have been honored by Jarawa community from 10 states of the Federation due to the organization's promotion of peace and unity through its programs. This was when members of the Jabalasu Unity Forum visited the foremost media outfit. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports.
The Jarawas, also known as Jar, regard themselves as one of the most popular tribes in central Nigeria, where they predominantly engage in farming and hunting. Today, many of their sons and daughters who occupy prominent positions in society came together to create a social-cultural organization, Jabalasu Unity Forum. The group is identifying with the largest television network in Africa, the NTA, for promoting the ideals of unity.
The aim and objectives of Jarabalas National Development Unity Forum is nothing but rather to bring a kind of synergy, to bring a kind of harmony, to bring a kind of understanding in between members, ethnic nationalities within Nigeria.
I'm assuring you the issue of peace will be tremendous to this our nation. The issue of lack of employment and others will be forgotten. The issue of religious crisis will be forgotten.
And of course, as part of its mandate, NTA management says its doors remain open to partnerships that will promote national cohesion.
I want to assure you that we will continue to maintain this relationship, this good rapport that is existing between you and our organization. And I want you to forge ahead to see that we maintain the peace and the unity we are enjoying before this time around.
The group was led on the visit by its national president, Hosea Zubairu Manzur. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
Let's take another break. More when we return. You're welcome back. To deepen matters on energy transition to hit the target of net zero carbon emissions by 2060, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo participated in the Carbon High-Level Meeting in New York at the Rockefeller Foundation to map out ways the teeming youth of Nigeria can take advantage of the opportunities inherent. The Vice President, while addressing the gathering, noted that it is estimated that in the next 10 years, the projects in the carbon market pipeline could create 30 million jobs and by 2050 have the potential to create more than 100 jobs.
So participating in the carbon market offers Africa the opportunity to pursue growth, industrialization, economic value creation with the right incentives for clean energy and climate action. I think within a very short time we've achieved quite a bit. We've very quickly built an alliance in the steering committee, supported effectively by GAP and C4All, to figure out how to develop a real market-making initiative. And as you know, we developed a clear roadmap that's laid out 13 action programs for execution.
The combination of capital flows, job creation, and avoidance of long-term climate destruction are critical drivers of the interests of African leaders in supporting these efforts. And that's NTA Network News. Thanks so much for watching. But before we go, don't forget to join NTA in the fight against rape and be a star. I am Jummai Yusuf.